Hey, it's Dave Asprey. Welcome to my quarterly unboxing video. My guest host today is my dog Merlin. Hey Merlin, he's blind and quite an awesome dog, and he's feeling lonely today because my wife's out of town. So rather than having barking in the background, he's going to be sitting on the couch over here in the Bulletproof Biohacking Labs. So there we go. The most unofficial opening ever. I'm wearing my cool EFF, Electronic Frontier Foundation t-shirt, where you actually have a girl hacker driving a robot angel for our civil rights online. Hey, that's cool, right? Today's box is one I'm incredibly stoked about, and I decided to film it here in Bulletproof Labs upstairs in the coffee hacking kitchen lab. But for the last 2 days, I've been filming videos of new recipes for the launch of Bulletproof the Cookbook, which I'm sure you've probably heard about. But the kitchen's kind of a mess, but I just want to show you guys some of what's going on up here because you don't get to see too much of this. This is the new desk, and I actually use a stand desk in the other place where I work, which is one of my favorite, in fact it is my favorite, electrically adjustable desk, but I wanted like a solid desk that I could sort of lock up that was up here. So I went for an antique desk that I've modified with amazingly cool feet. Yes, plumbing fittings are a great way to pick up heavy furniture. All right, you can see what's going on back here. The other thing before we get started, just because I think a lot of you are just, I don't know, you like humor, check out this blender. You probably can't see how big it is, but like this is my hand, and that's the blender. Like, this is the blender of champions, and listen to the sound. Let's see, I'll turn it down. All right. That sounds like Eleanor from Gone in 60 Seconds Flat. That Mustang, like that is the most powerful blender known to man. It's a full gallon size. Only maybe a hotel would use something like that, but it got sent to me kind of as a gift. And this will make a 5-gallon bucket of bulletproof coffee. This is the world's heaviest duty hand blender or hand mixer you can possibly get. And well, I've never made 5 gallons of bulletproof coffee, but I want to. So now I'm prepared. It's also good for the zombie apocalypse. Running a restaurant in LA gives you access to the coolest toys ever, let me just tell you. All right, on to your box. No more other cool BS like that. One of the things I've wanted to do is introduce you to awesome technologies. The problem is getting enough awesome technology for you to get really good value is hard to do, but we did it, like massively did it in this box. So I'm just opening, I don't know what order we're gonna do this stuff in. You get the Dave Asprey handy dandy card, which I'm sure is on top of yours when you're unboxing yours. All right, I'm going to go out of order. Heart rate variability monitoring is something that I talk about a lot. And in this box, I got you a Bluetooth heart rate monitor that works with both Apple phones and Android phones, because something like 3 or 4 followers still use Android. Just kidding, at least half of you do. And it's a constant point of pain if there's an app for one platform versus the other. But this works for both. And you can do this for running, cycling, walking, all that kind of stuff. But it works with the Bulletproof Stress Detective app. So you can get your heart rate variability all day long. The problem is the Stress Detective app is $5, and it's one of my things, and I don't charge you in this box for my stuff, so it's free. I'm giving you Bulletproof Stress Detective, but you're also getting this heart rate monitor for measuring variability that will work with any app you want. Oh, I forgot to mention, it will not give you a black eye. You see that? That actually comes from something entirely unrelated to heart rate variability. I was in a meditation competition this weekend, and I was meditating against this woman, and she didn't look very tough, and I was sitting there, and all of a sudden just popped a vein, like she had me. Or actually it was an acupuncture needle. That's the real story. But there's a really, really cool acupuncture point there right next to your eye. I had a needle in it. When it came out, it nicked a vein. So I actually have like a serious black eye. But no MMA stories there. Nothing that cool. All right, what else do we have in here? This is precious because we're talking a lot about traveling and about just how you can know what your body's doing. These bottles will never, ever leak. You can fill one with Brain Octane. I use exactly this bottle after having tested goo tubes and all these other things like that. This is the single best bottle that I know of to bring Brain Octane onto an airplane. You take this, you put your Brain Octane in there, and you get enough to last for several days. I carry it actually in my little man purse. If you've ever seen me in person, I usually have like a black man purse that has like weird biohacking stuff, like a stick of butter, some of this, and some supplements and some technologies and things. Magic bottle. Now, what's it made out of? It's made out of pure BPA. Not really. It's HDPE, high density polyethylene, which is like a really durable plastic so the lid doesn't crack. And it doesn't move any flavor or food. It doesn't bleach into the oil. And it meets TSA regulations so you can travel. It's really cool. And just note to self, if you happen to carry this outside your little approved baggie and it's just in some other pocket of your backpack, it's so small that they'll almost never call you on it. So I do that a lot. I don't even bother putting it in my baggie. By the way, finding that size took more than a month of research because it's very hard to find that size. All right. Let's talk about the biggest thing that's in here that has me just completely stoked. It's something you cannot get at any price anywhere else. This is the Defender Pad, and it's made by Defender Shield. And there are studies that link radiation and heat exposure to specifically fertility problems. If you read the Better Baby book that came out, and I started the research in the mid-2000s, and it came out, I want to say 2011, but a lot of the stuff had been done by 2008. There was already plenty of research in that said, like, seriously, don't hold the phone next to your junk. And skin problems, DNA fragmentation. So what if you wanted to use your laptop, especially on an airplane or on the road or just on your couch? Well, you would use one of these because it blocks Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, cellular, and EMF, as well as just heat. And some of it's blocking, some of it's absorbing. Independent FCC testing shows that you get almost 100% blocking. It still goes up, but you just don't want to be really close because when you're dealing with EMFs, they drop off with the cube of the distance, which means they drop off pretty quickly with time or with distance. So if you can just block the stuff that's sitting closest to you, that's a really big difference. Now, Defender Shield itself is it's an expensive thing worth the value of the box all by itself. But here's what's unique. You cannot get one like this anywhere because it's actually a custom bulletproof one, and we had that done for you. So you're one of the few people on the planet who gets this. I'm not going to start selling this model. So this is like a limited edition custom thing just for you. And, well, I got one too. And in fact, I only got one. I was like, I could use 10 of these, but I'm pretty sure they couldn't do that 10. So anyway, this is a Defender Pad. It's going to live here in the Bulletproof facility. And when I'm using my laptop, this is what it's going to be sitting on. So I am really stoked about this, actually. Next up, let's see what's going on. Let's see if I can dig this guy out. This may be the most important thing that you get in this box, and this is earplanes. Earplanes are these little things. Let me see if I can pop this open for you. They belong in your backpack or your purse, whatever you use when you travel, the bag you always have with you. They're tiny. They're this big. And what's inside these is little silicone earplugs. But the cool thing is, check that out. See the little plug in the middle there? That little plug is a ceramic plug that moves slowly when pressure changes. So when you're in an airplane and it takes off, or when it lands, you feel your ears popping. That's good. That means your ears are working right. However, if you say, or at the beginning of getting a cold, or you have a sinus infection, or something like that happens, which happens to most people who travel frequently, stuff does come up. Well, more than a few people have gone deaf in one or even both ears by going on a flight when the ears are clogged. Because I had sinus infections for 15 years, I became like an expert at doing that and not blowing out my eardrums. And this is one of those things that just belongs in your backpack, because if you, or maybe even the person sitting next to you, gets that, oh my God, I'm clogged up, I don't know how I'm going to make it on the flight, you put these in, this will save your eardrums. What they do, it'll still hurt, but it won't blow out the ears. Instead of the pressure changing really rapidly, especially on landing, these take the pressure and they make the pressure change slowly. So instead of like a hit, you get like a gentle curve, and that allows your body to equalize the pressure without destroying your eardrums. So this is I don't know, these are $8 or $10 or something at Walgreens if you can find them. Not all drugstores have them, But just put it in your bag, almost forget they're there. And that time when you're in a state of need and you're on an airplane and it really hurts, you stick these things in, and they can save a lifetime of not having your ears. Like, they're that important for travel. I seriously haven't traveled without them in 10 years, and I've probably had to use them 5 times. And when I first started out, I used to use them every time I flew because I had so many ear and sinus problems. They're all gone. Like, I've hacked that, but these are still there in my bag, and they should be in your bag. This matters, man. Deafness sucks. All right. There's a couple other things. And something that I'll do is I'll send you stuff, like Bulletproof stuff, but when it's a product that I make, it's never counted in the value. So these are just like free benefits you get because you're in the quarterly box. I just want you to try the stuff, and it's usually in line with the theme of the box. So when we talk about this box being worth more than $170, even though you only paid $100 for it, these don't count. So there's about $25 worth of Bulletproof stuff in here just to say thanks. Here's some of it. Upgraded coconut charcoal. This is one of those things that really, really changes detox. When you're on an airplane, when you're flying, or just when you start to feel a little off, you can take one of these and it'll change how you feel. Like, it actually noticeably absorbs toxins. You can take it when you're eating food that you probably shouldn't be eating that's less bulletproof, or if you decided you were going to drink a beer or eat that industrial meat, which really you shouldn't be doing. Something like that, just take a couple of these and it lowers the biological work that your body would have to do to remove any toxin that sticks to the charcoal. The charcoal has a surface area that's kind of ridiculous. Don't quote me on the exact numbers here because I don't have it memorized, but a couple teaspoons of charcoal has a surface area that's somewhere in the neighborhood of a football field. So very, very tiny, wrinkly surface that electrically attracts things, which is amazing. So if you've never tried this stuff, just take 1 or 2. If you have no problems with constipation ever, you can do what I do. I take 4 or 6. It doesn't bother me. But if you tend to be slow, then go light on the stuff. It'll turn your poop black. I give one of these to my kids whenever they start acting all crazy, and they calm down. Like, it helps with the fact that the gut bacteria make lipopolysaccharides, and those things can absorb and change your behaviors. We know that your gut bacteria modulate your behaviors. So if you combine some toxins that are in your gut bacteria, this is just something to do. Something else you don't know, but there's a study about this. When you travel over a time zone or when you stay up really late, the gut bacteria get stressed because their circadian rhythm gets off and they make more of their toxins. Yikes. That's kind of weird. You can basically stop those little bastards. Well, maybe not all their toxins, but you can at least block some of the toxins. This is also used widely in agricultural feed as a blocker of mycotoxins. So they take not quite as fine particles, basically a cheaper form that isn't probably acid washed either, but they pour it into the cow's food when they're feeding them low quality food so the cows don't die. Not a bad thing to take when you're eating airplane food. Another thing you're getting, Unfair Advantage. I'm sending you 4 of these. These are about $2 a piece. This is a new form of PQQ called Active PQQ. And no one else makes it. Everyone who sells PQQ buys it from the same place. It's a big chemical company out of Japan, and they make a form called disodium salt form, and it precipitates in stomach acid, and it's not bioavailable. This is a colloidal form that's acid-based, that is bioavailable, bound to CoQ10, and you feel the difference when you take it. Like, it's noticeable. There's 4 of these. Take one before you do something really important. Take one before you work out. Try and take one before sleep and see if you feel much better in the morning. I am blown away by the stuff. This is the most important supplement I've ever made. It's a whole body nootropic, in that it enhances mitochondrial function so that when you have cells that are able to make electricity, able to make electrons the way they do using ATP, they'll do it at their full speed, and then you can enjoy the cognitive benefits, but also just the whole body benefits of it. So this is a new kind of experience. Just try it. It's remarkable stuff. There. Now you won't get interruptions from Skype anymore. Maybe we'll edit that out, maybe we won't. No promises. All right, there's a few other things that are in here for you. There's a 50% off. Let me find the right card for you. Oh, well, actually, I'll tell you all these things, but there we go. 50% off My Intent. And this is a really, really good deal. And this is something that's kind of cognitively interesting. This is my intent. Let's see if I can show it to you. It's just a little wristband or a necklace. And if you can read that word, it says upgrade. And the reason I like My Intent is that you pick one word that'll fit on there, just one word. And the idea is to use it to remind yourself of that word, or to kind of as a conversation starter when it's a necklace or a bracelet or something like that. And I chose upgrade because one of the things that I consider to be really important is that every day I do at least one thing to make myself better. And that's something that you'll find it's common with a lot of like the Navy SEALs and U.S. military special forces. Like it's built into their mindset. I'm going to exercise. I'm going to do something. I'm just going to sharpen myself a little bit. And so upgrade was the one word I could find that did all that. As I was talking with the founder of My Intent, who came and hung out with me at the Bulletproof coffee shop a couple weeks ago in Santa Monica, he was telling me about a TV celebrity, and I'm not sure I'm allowed to say his name, so I won't, but a major talk show host, who chose a word that was a little surprising. It was deathbed. And it seems kind of dark, but his point for that was he wanted to ask himself every day, is what I'm doing right now, is what I did today something that I'm going to be happy about on my deathbed? Is it something that's going to matter at the end of my life? And if not, why not? Which is really powerful. So what I would encourage you to do is to think about getting one of these things, because it helps you to tell yourself, to remind yourself of your core intent, but also to share it with other people, because it's kind of cool to be able to do that. So I just think that the act of choosing only one word out of all the values you have is really hard to do and really meaningful. So the process of deciding to spend a few bucks on the thing and then order it and see it instantiates something that's meaningful. And I think that you won't go wrong by doing that, which is why I asked them to give you a really big discount. All right. Next up, we have a hair mineral analysis with custom detox protocol from Mineral Power. And this is, here we go, $100 off. A lot of people ask in the forums on the Bulletproof site, in the Q&A for the podcast, like, how do I know if I have toxic metals? Toxic metals are a major issue. I had high mercury and high lead and did chelation therapy a while ago as part of just getting myself back up to baseline performance and then going beyond. It's just incredibly common, especially if you travel and move. So measuring it is pretty important. So Wendy Myers, who's been on the podcast, is giving everyone $100 off, and 10 people, maybe you, get a golden ticket worth $400, which is a lot. That's $4,000 that's out there. And I'm really working on getting more golden ticket items, because it doesn't make sense on a $100 box for me to give everyone a $400 test. I would do that in a minute, but I don't think Wendy would. So what I did is I asked Wendy to provide that value to you guys. And this is a way for everyone to say, if I want to do a test, this is a way to do it. There are blood tests, there are urine tests. A hair test is kind of an entry-level way to do it, but she's got a good analytical algorithm. So I would start here, and I think that there's great value for you there. Getting the data so you can hack it is particularly good. We also have a discount here with MoveNat. If you heard my podcast with Erwan, he's a fascinating guy, and he really focuses on how the body moves and has come up with something called, I don't know what you want to call these things, slippers. Minimalist moccasins is actually what he calls them. They're not slippers because they have a sole that's designed for outside use, and they're different than toe shoes and a little bit less ridiculous looking. I want to tell you how much I love these, but I'm a Sasquatch. I have size 16 feet. The biggest they make is size 13, and they're kind of stretchy. I could get my foot in there, but I couldn't walk. So Erwan, make me shoes. In the meantime, I'm giving these to my mother, who has size 13 men's feet. I wonder where I got my flippers. Thanks, Mom. But I can tell you from people on the Bulletproof team who've used these that they really like them. And I can tell you from playing around with this and looking at it, like, it looks incredibly comfortable and well made. So I thought you guys would enjoy this. There's 12 pairs of these as golden tickets. There's the coupon, and the coupon gets you discounts off the MoveNat Natural Movement Workout and Trainer Certification course. So if you're interested in functional movement and preventing injury and staying young, there's a lot to be said for wearing the right kind of footwear, but also just learning how to move your body. I'm in a continuous learning mode there. And let's see, other things going on here. Oh, the final thing, it's not final, but we talked about the Defender Shield, the really big win in this box. You also get 15% off everything else there. And of course, I don't have my iPhone with me. They make an iPhone case that is as far as I can tell, a better protection than the Pong case, which is one that I've also used. So this is one that folds over the top of the phone, fully encases it. And this actually matters, especially if you're going to put the phone in your front pocket right next to your equipment. You're going to carry it near your abdomen, near your organs. Or like my dad, I wish he would stop doing it. He puts his phone right over his heart. The guy's had heart surgery. He has like metal wire and stuff in there. Like, don't put a phone next to a wire because it induces an electrical current. But hey, you can't make your parents do things, and you probably won't watch this video. And if you do watch this video, Dad, seriously, get it out of here or use one of these cases. But anyway, you get a 15% discount, so this is additional value. When we're talking about how much value you get, I don't count any of the coupons and things like that in your value. So if you use the coupons, you're getting like hundreds of dollars more, but direct product stuff, you're getting a lot more than you pay for, and I think it's really cool stuff in this box. The final thing, which is really cool, is I'm adding $3,000 worth of 3-day passes to the Bulletproof conference. So 2 people are going to win a golden ticket to come to the Bulletproof conference. This is going to be an amazing conference. The first year was 100 people in San Francisco. The second year was 500 people in Pasadena. And this year we're expecting about 1,000 people in Pasadena. That's like a big conference, at least by my standards. And I do the Bulletproof conference not because it's a way to make money. In fact, it breaks even if I'm lucky. I do it because it's the one time to bring together a really big community of biohackers who really like get to talk to each other and get to play with equipment from dozens of vendors. So all the big toys that you'd want to play with, some of the stuff I have downstairs in the Bulletproof Labs, it's actually there for you to experience. So it's an experiential conference with really good lectures. We have a pretty strong focus on brain this time, so some leading neuroscientists and things like that. And the idea is, look, science tells us we can do all these things. Maybe in 20 years it'll be mainstream, but in the meantime, how do you and me get these benefits? It's changed my life dramatically now I'm at 10 weeks of neurofeedback every single day for multiple hours. And it's completely changed my entire capability set. So bringing in people who do this with executives and with celebrities and with high functioning people, it's really cool. So enough about that, but the videos will be available if you don't come. And for 2 of you who are listening to this right now, you're actually going to be able to come, assuming you get the time off. It's October 23rd to 25th. Info on it is at bulletproofconference.com. If you love this box, you'll love the conference. No question about it. That's it for all the cool stuff that you got. I want to say thank you for subscribing to this box. You have no idea how fun it is to pull all this stuff together. It's actually like kind of playing with a Rubik's Cube, because the idea is, well, if I make this trade-off, then I can't put this in there, and I'm just trying to maximize the utility for you. So you can sort of open this and go, oh, like I'd probably maybe heard a podcast a year ago where Dave said to get earplugs, but you probably never did it. So now you don't have to think about it. It's there. You're going to put this in your bag. It weighs like a gram, and it's almost invisible when it's in your backpack, but it could save your hearing. Like just little things like that, deciding to do that, or this little bottle, it means something to me, and I'm really thinking about how do I give you the most value, because these are things that I use, things that I really care about, and to make me do a forcing function in my head to figure out the algorithm, which of these is better, which of these is more useful, who's going to care about this the most, that really, really matters. So that's basically how it works. Thank you so much for subscribing. Have an awesome day.